Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the whole Gunna case. So I was going to do a reaction video to this a while ago, right? And basically I was like, damn, that's crazy. They involved in, making this gang type of group, whatever. On top of that, there's supposed to be these murders connected to them, and YF and Lucci, whatever. And I think Gunna really just is funneling the money to and from Young Thug. They just distributing out the money, which makes it a RICO, which is basically they're giving the money and overseeing the distribution of these guns, drugs, and all these crimes in connection to this gang that's happening, basically. And so they got arrested, and the attorney general was like trying to make an example out of them, pretty much. Was like, if we can get these big names, or at least if we can get them arrested and get them charged or something, even if they plea out, you're still charged, right? So even if they can get them arrested and they plea out guilty for something, the attorney general can say, oh yeah, you can tell we not playing in Atlanta, or I think it's Atlanta. We not playing out here, like we really cracking down on y'all. That's gonna send a message to all the other gangs, like in their mind, right? It's gonna send a message to all the other gangs, like, yeah, we not gonna tolerate this no more. You know, we cracking down on this. Y'all need to give it up. Blah 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 blah. And it's like Boosie said, which I never thought I'd say. It's hard to have like 12 or some people that got arrested in conjunction with this. It's hard to have 12 eggs in a basket and not one of them crack. So they're saying Gunna cracked. Here's the thing. He's basically admitting guilt, but he's saying like, it's not mine, pretty much. He's saying, and he's a first-time offender from what they're saying. So with Young Thug having all these priors, arrests and stuff like that, they're looking at that. They take that into account when they look at somebody's criminal history and stuff, and if they get bail or bond or OR, release, whatever. So that being said, with him having all these priors and stuff, that's where they're saying, and with him being like the head of all this stuff, and him saying it in his songs, and having people getting dissed in his songs, and they saying they wrote such and such on bruh tombstone, and this and this. Basically, he's saying like they're saying he's the top dog. He's the leader of this YSL gang, pretty much. Even though, is it a gang? That's really up to their interpretations, because gangs are really just families for real, and they just be defending each other, quote unquote. How they always want to portray it as, well, they be on our block, so we be having a war. They kill, you know what I mean? Who knows who killed who first, right? Between the Bloods and the Crips, but they've been at war since, since before Vietnam, since before, all this other stuff, or longer than, I should say, not before, but longer than Vietnam and World War One. World War II, all of that stuff. Killing their own people because of they lived like a block or whatever in the wrong direction, or because I just killed my cousin one time, so I gotta get revenge. And they're saying the Bible, violence only gets more violence. That being said, do I think Gunna needs to spend some more time in jail? I think he's been locked up for like 6-7 months or something like that. It depends. Context is really important in this case, because at first I was hearing that he was basically just in the car. He didn't have nothing in his car, but the car behind him had the guns and the drugs in it. Now they're saying that the guns and the drugs was in his car, him and Young Thug's car, the car that they was riding with, and then all the associates and stuff got busted in conjunction to that. So do I think he deserves to? If he had knowledge of it, then yeah, I think he needs to serve some more time, to be honest, because that's a big offense. Drugs and guns, it's like water and oil. They should never mix, but they always do at some point, but they always end up coming back, at some point. So my question really is, why did they have that in their car? Like, was they about to make a drop, or are they on cocaine? Or, I mean, I can understand the money or the guns, because if you're that famous, obviously you need to protect yourself, especially if you're around people that are feuding and stuff. You never know who you're gonna see. You never know what neighborhood you're gonna end up in, and you never know who you're gonna, run into, stuff like that. As being the case with, PNB Rock and Offset, I believe, and all these other rappers who got caught lacking and basically paid their life for it, So I don't blame them for having guns, but if you're a felon, you can't have guns illegally. But they didn't have no bodyguards. They didn't even have which this is what's really killing me about the whole RICO charge, right? If they was distributing the stuff to the people in the hood and stuff, they didn't have nobody to pick it up and drop it off. Like, you got all this money, you don't have nobody to pick it up and drop it off for you. Like, that doesn't, something's not adding up there. Not saying that it was a setup or nothing like that. Obviously, they got caught. It wasn't like, they had an inside man that was an informant or something. Maybe they did. But now everybody's clowning Gunna, saying he's the new 6ix9ine and blah, blah, blah. Personally, I don't really listen to hip-hop. One of my favorite hip hop songs that I did like though was Gunna featuring Chris Brown. You know I got that heat. Everything that's on me. So I never really knew Gunna as really a gangster. Young Thug was always in question because of the whole dress thing, and people be like, nah, he was really about it in the hood and blah blah. I don't know. I think that's another reason why they're going after such a prominent big figure, because if he is involved in that and they know that he's known in the hood and they taking him down, the attorney general, she's really using that as like a resume builder, to be honest. So regardless of if they all get off on a plea for like a year probation time, their serve time, whatever, she excuse me, she still bagged them, and she's saying, like she said, oh, we're going after other prominent big names. Like they're not playing, they're really cracking down. They're trying to make their city safer, and I don't blame her. Like, if you got what they said, like 6 or 7 murders connected to these people, like, get their ass off the street. Like, that's why I can't listen to hip hop and that type of music no more, because of the energy that it brings and the message that it's influencing. And I never understood why you can't play Christian rap on the radio when you're rapping about God, but you can play songs about murder, killings, drugs, beating women, slutting them out. Like WAP went number 1, Wet AP. Like, this world is wicked that we live in, and it doesn't make sense to me how this stuff keeps. But and Gunna basically, with his plea deal, he had to admit that YSL was a gang. He had to admit that it was a gang. So, with that being said, that once you're a gang, like, it's different if you're just like it's different levels. So, like, if you got guns and drugs, you could say it's for personal consumption, whatever. But if you got a gang thing involved, then it becomes a federal thing, because gangs are like a whole nother thing in the criminal system. So with them doing that, and that being said, I don't know what's gonna happen. I would say it's a plea for attention, but nah, Gunna, you don't want to be locked up. They was talking about giving him like 6-7 years. Yeah, I think Rollo was the one who gave him some advice, and he didn't take it. He's like, man, when everybody locked up and everybody life moving on and people dying and this and this shit move on, and you don't want to hear that, man. I don't know why, and this is a completely kind of off topic. I don't know why people, when they get rich, they want to start doing shit that they couldn't do in the hood, like selling drugs, buying guns for people, and why not just give back just give people money, like, or give them what they need, like buy some houses for some folks. You know what I mean? I won't say give them money, because that could still be misconstrued. Like, if they go use the money to buy hella drugs, they go, well, I got the money from, and you can not even knowingly be funding a whole drug enterprise. But why don't people help the hood out more like that? Like buying neighborhoods, or buying, buying houses on the streets, or paying people's rent off, or, stuff like that. They said Gunna's turkey driver, or I think his Christmas driver or something, got canceled because they, now everybody about to stop associating stuff with Gunna, like, just like Kanye. We talk about him next. But everybody trying to lose his deal now because he's supposedly tweaking, or he's snitching, or whatever. But I'm like 90% of the people who hate on him for snitching, if you was facing the same amount of time and you know it wasn't yours, and even if you unknowingly was in the car with it, by association, it's yours. So, you know, you're gonna snitch. You're gonna, like, I'll guarantee 80% of y'all will be like, oh, it ain't mine. I'm not gonna woo woo. Like, that's just life. Like, you're not gonna ruin your life because of somebody else's decisions. What sense does that make? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, it's a Dashiki Monday. So if y'all like the fit, let me know in the comments. You know, we coming to you with another one next week, probably. Well, we're gonna do some more videos this week, but we're gonna be talking about Kanye next week. I'm letting the air settle a little bit on him. Just watched the full Alex Jones interview, so we're gonna be talking about that next. Stay tuned for another one. Peace.